Okay. So this is a blended learning session that we're going to have. It is not exactly what I do in my other blended learning sessions that we had in the past. There's going to be a total series of in the Choice Board course that we're going to be offering come the 1st of September. What this is more of a, what do I do at the hours for my class? Okay, my coordinator said, or my principal said, I have 4 hours. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, I have 4 hours a week for English. What does that mean? I have 18 pods. I have 46 kids. I have 3 groups. I have 4 floors. I have 2 virtual hours, Shabbat Shalom, and a partridge in a pear tree. Okay, what is 4 hours of English or 5 hours of English? What does that look like in a blended learning situation? Okay, so Adele, if you could share my PowerPoint, that would be fantabulous. Okay, so I decided to call it How to Make the Most of My 4 Blended Learning Hours, because we're gonna be getting mostly for most of our classes 4 hours. If you get 5, that's really hoopty-whoopty, but most of us are getting 4 for everything. Okay, so I decided to stay with that. Okay, next. That's the last one. Where's all the middle? Where's the middle?
Sorry.
All righty then. Go to the next slide. Okay, there are 2 films here. One of it that I'm just going to show you, the left one. Could you share your sound though, because it's important.
Sure.
So you were off, so now you're on again. So share your sound. Just watch this so you know what blended learning is. Just for a second.
Snapchat.
Technology has revolutionized our world. We can connect and learn and create and share. We have immediate, improved, and personalized access to the world.
Google.
Nothing in our modern lives remains untouched by this powerful transformation, except for education. The big idea behind blended learning is combining online learning and brick-and-mortar schools with teachers where students can learn at their own pace so that they can optimize their individual learning.
Combining the best of teacher instruction and computer-based instruction.
The world that we live in today isn't about paper and pencil, it's about computers. Having our kids become comfortable and familiar with that now is going to better prepare them for the world when they leave this school.
Blended learning can actually personalize for every student's individual needs to meet them where they are when they need it.
We are doing students and ourselves a great disservice to assume they all learn in the same way. So we need something new, and that's blended learning.
When you walk into a blended learning school, what you'll see is small groups of students off with their computers, working away on online learning programs, and another group of students in small groups doing rich interactive projects with each other and really collaborating as peers.
I'm able to now focus on smaller groups of kids, give them more individual attention, and help them with their individual learning styles.
Before, you're moving at the pace of the average of your 30 kids. Now you can really move at the pace of each individual student.
The teacher has the opportunity to look at data in the moment, in the minute, to know where our kids are immediately, informs instruction in the next period or the next morning.
In a regular classroom, it might take a week for you to get your test back. I can take a test twice in one class, get my feedback almost instantly, and figure out what I need to improve on.
Blended learning makes you in charge of your pathway, knowing how to navigate what you need and when you need it.
And that's true learning and knowledge. It's when you're able to apply content into real life.
All 50 million of America's students deserve the opportunity to have blended learning so that they can personalize their education and realize success in life.
50 million. 50 million students.
50 million
50 million
students.
50 million.
50 million students
in America.
In America.
50 million students in America.
Okay, so we're not in America and we're not 50 million anything. However, and this was a movie from 2016. Corona has upped the ante, okay? And what it's done is it's taken a lot of theory that's been around for a few years and people were trying to purport, and it actually makes it a reality. And now everyone's wrestling to get it, to understand it. Okay, the best quote that I can give you about blended learning is you do your classwork at home and your homework in class. And I'm gonna say that again because I want you to hear it again. You do your classwork at home and your homework in class. What does that mean? Okay, how many times has even your own children said, I understood it when the teacher did it, but then when I went home to do my homework, I couldn't do it. Okay, there's a very big difference between thinking that you understand something and actually being able to produce or implement your learning. Adele, you okay?
Yep. Just
Okay.
wanted to turn off the WhatsApp so it doesn't ping.
Okay. What the idea of blended learning is that they do some of their learning at home, and they come and they actually do the practical things in class. It becomes a more social classroom. You become more of a facilitator, and they're doing their learning at their own pace. Some kids are gonna have to reread an article or rewatch a film 4 or 5 times, and one of them might do it while they're walking or while they're on their treadmill, and they get it the first time. Okay, when we do it in class, just think, you've got the top few kids that are bored after half a second, you've got the middle of your class, which some of them are listening to you, and you have the low level of class that are clueless. Okay, what happens is when you take, instead of standing up and talking to them, you take the class, you break it up into different activities that each kid does at his own pace, where there are deadlines and there are specific things that they have to do and there are grades and assessment. Then everyone works at their own pace and you actually can be a little bit more social. Adele, can you go to the next slide, please? So this was to answer Brenda's question, which is everyone's question. An hour isn't an hour. And what do I mean? An hour of blended learning is not an hour where you're going to look at the whites of your eyes of your student. You're not going to see them physically 4 hours a week. What you are going to do is make sure that they have 4 hours of English time during the week. Okay, so even if your school only gave you in your schedule an hour, that doesn't mean that your students aren't going to have 4 hours of English. Okay, and we're going to see how to do that. Next slide. Okay, what can be included in a blended hour? In other words, what kinds of things can I put in? The first one is synchronous learning, which is either on the Zoom at a specific hour on a specific day, or in the classroom. Adele, you're getting me nauseous. The second one is asynchronous learning. Asynchronous learning, which is, no, Adele, I'll tell you when. Go back. Thank you. Asynchronous learning, which is learning that they do at their own time when they want to. It could be individual or paired or in groups. Click. Pairwork, where students are responsible to go from A to D or A to E by themselves in a pair, where sometimes you pair them off and sometimes they pair themselves off. Click. And the last one is group work, which is always led by you and does not include more than 4 students at a time. Okay, if it's any more than 4 students, one of them is doing everything and one of them is doing nothing and the other ones are playing on their phones. Okay, 4. And each one has its own, his own job and his own title. Next slide. Oh, I forgot. Reflection. Sorry, it's late. To reflect as a teacher and to have your students reflect on the learning process and what they did and what was easy, what was hard, what did they learn, not content-wise, but about themselves. Okay, next. Synchronous time means the time that you are actually spending looking at your students, either in little squares or in person. And what kinds of things can we do in synchronous time? Go. We can either have a regular face-to-face lesson, which is kind of boring. We can have a Zoom session, which should be very short and sweet. we could do collaborative documents, which I talked about in the last session when we talked about literature. You can play a live game if we're in lockdown totally, or you can play other games and things that you do in the classroom. Make the students be live so you can live stream some sort of lesson with them, that they get some expert who gives them a lecture or something like that, not necessarily you. And you can do things like sports or any sort of movement, or all of the entire read in motion course, a walking classroom, or anything else. You could do that early in the morning, or Zumba or yoga in English. That can be part of your English. Okay, you can say to the principal, I would like on Tuesdays from 7:45 until 8:15 to do Zumba or yoga in English with the students in Kita Chet. Okay, that's half an hour of your teaching. Okay, it's in English. It's not just playing a video, it's you. Okay, click. Asynchronous lessons are things that students do by themselves when you're not around. They can do it at 2 o'clock in the morning if they're not sleeping. They can do it at 8 o'clock in the morning if they haven't gone to sleep. They could do it at 4 o'clock in the afternoon when they wake up. Okay, they can do it at any time as long as they do it by a certain time. Click. Things like that would be Google Forms, or Reading for Pleasure, or Ed Puzzles, or live worksheets, flipping a classroom, showing them an article before you're going to see them face-to-face the next day. Okay, giving them a clip to watch, like we give you clips to watch, and then we talk to you about other information. For the entire day, they do, I've been giving you films about blended learning and teaching. Okay, you watch it, and then it connects to something that you're hearing in either the lesson previous, the session previous, or the session subsequent. Okay, in other words, the whole idea is to get them thinking about things, and to get them thinking about things where you don't actually have to speak it. Okay, they're thinking about things by themselves. Okay, and then when you come into class, you can actually use that information to actually do something with it, as opposed to just blah it out at them. Okay, next. Okay, for pair and group work, we can do things like click. Don't click again. Allow students to work together always. Okay, not just because of Corona, but allow students to always work together. They don't learn from you, they learn from each other. Allow students to get together and create things. Okay, give them a challenge. Tell them that they need to find something out, or they need to present something, or they need to teach something. Allow them to present and produce as much as possible. They should be writing every week at least twice. They should be speaking and presenting at least twice, even if it's only for a minute. Allow students to assess each other. Okay, give them an assignment, have them send it to a friend, have the friend assess it. Why do you have to mark everything? Okay, give it an answer key and have the students assess other students' work. Okay, click. We need more social learning in Corona time curriculum. We need to make sure that because of social distancing, we have enough time for students to be doing things together. They can do it on the phone. They don't have to be around the same desk. They can do it from their homes, but they have to be working with and being in touch with other students. It is super, uber important, okay, that these students are not left to only do individual work by themselves in their homes when they're all alone. Okay, one of the things we have as responsibilities as educators is to make sure that they're doing things together, not just in the face-to-face, but also when they're home. Okay, they will learn better because they'll be with people. Students who do too many things by themselves become reclusive. We don't want that. Okay, this is gonna be a long year, and we don't know how long this year is gonna be. Last year feels like it's still this year. Okay, it's a long year, and it might be a longer, more than a year. All right, we have to take care of the social, emotional well-being of our students as well. Next. Student and teacher reflection. Okay, this we had in a couple of the other sessions, especially Rebecca's and Nati's, when they talked about connecting. where you get immediate feedback from your students, okay? Just like we send you a form, I've done Mentimeters before, where I ask the students before they come in the lesson, how are you today? Tired, angry, or okay? All right, those are the three that I usually use. If they're angry, they're gonna be unmotivated. If they're tired, I can make them stand up and do a brain break and wake up. If they're happy, then they're happy, okay? Angry is always the ones I wanna know, all right? If they're frustrated or they're angry, I wanna know before the lesson starts so that I can help them. All right, how is the end of the lesson? Do you feel the same at the end? Do you feel like you succeeded? Do you need help with anything? Have them start reflecting. Student responsibility is something that we're gonna have to work a lot on, because when we start giving them work and we give them deadlines, then we're gonna have to give them deadlines and they're gonna have to stand by them. We're not gonna go drive by their moshav and pick up their post-reading activity so that we can give it a grade. Okay, that isn't gonna happen in lockdown, and unfortunately it happens much too much in regular life, okay? The idea being that we need to have students take responsibility and own up to the fact that they didn't show up to class, okay? Next. Okay, teacher reflection. Did this work? Did they understand? What should I try? How should I try? It's the same questions for teachers and for students. We're going into a new style of teaching and a new style of learning. And so reflection will help us focus and be efficient. Use the best things that worked. Nomi said that. I like that. Yeah. Next. Okay. When it comes to assessment, we need to think of different ways to use formative assessment. Okay, we're not going to be able to give an unseen that they've never seen before because they're going to have their uncle underneath the desk and they're going to copy from somewhere. Okay, so we're going to have to try and figure out exactly how we give assessment, and assessment may have to be more formative. It may have to be more alternative. Just like we do it in the logs when we do literature, even the summative assessment, if you ask for a longer answer, for example, instead of a lots answer, you ask for more HOTS questions, then it's gonna be harder for them to copy off of their friends, although who knows, okay? If this continues for more than this year, I'm assuming that Israel will have to come up with a better way to do assessment than face-to-face. As long as you have them face-to-face, you should test them face-to-face if you need to, but I wouldn't waste seeing them once a month by giving them a test. Okay, I think there are many more important things to do with them than give them exams. Okay, so you have to think about what you're doing and what kinds of things you're expecting them to do and what kinds of things you demand that they do that don't have to do with one-on-one individual testing. Okay, we have to change our questions. We don't have to find a way to do the old questions. We have to think about different questions and different ways to assess. Next. Okay, so Haley made us this amazing recipe book in Padlet, which I've shared 1.5 million times with all the coordinators and everyone. So if you didn't get it, nag your coordinator about it. Okay, it's a Padlet. I may have put it here at the end of the presentation. God, I can't, my brain is hardly functioning, so I can't really remember. But this has so many tools that you can try and use, things that are based on different types of tools. And it's all topic-based in a Padlet that goes down. And there are a bunch of things that you can try. It's all really well organized. Haley worked on it forever, and I love it. And every time I want to try and do something, I go in and I try and search for what I want to do, and I go and I find. Okay, these are tools that most of the kids know how to use and that we use in order to get them to be using the most efficient tool for what we want to do. Okay, don't use a Google Doc if you really need to use something else. Okay, and this recipe book will help us. Okay, the recipe cards like Betty Crocker used to have. My mom used to have those. Okay, so you can go into that file, click, and then it'll help you find the tools that you need. All right, this is the tachlis. If you're looking at this very small, I suggest you make your screen look larger, okay? Because you can't make this any larger. Maybe you can. Can you make this just a little larger, Adele?
No, it's not doing it.
Yeah, okay. So this is the tachlis, what 4 hours or 5 hours looks like in English for a kita tet. All right, I took a 9th grade class. I broke it up into a week. I have 4 different types of learning. I have synchronous, asynchronous. I have my communication with my student, and I have my tasks, my summative weekly task. I'm only actually seeing them face-to-face for an hour, okay? I have 20 minutes on Sunday to explain to them what they need to do all week, and I have 20 minutes on Thursday to talk to them about their summative task, give them the instructions. But aside from that, I have things that they have to do for flipped classrooms. So they have to practice Quizlet, okay? And they have to watch, either read an article or watch a video before Tuesday's class, and they have to practice their vocabulary, okay? Those are the things they have to do on Sunday and Monday. Now, on Sunday, I sent an email with everything. So kids who want to whoosh through things can wish through on Sunday in the afternoon, and on Monday they have less to do or nothing to do. However, I stop them on Tuesday because on Tuesday I see them, okay? And until we continue the sessions, they can't do their summative task yet, okay? So I'm teaching them to pace. So on Tuesday I see them, and we're going to go over vocabulary with the Quizlet Live, and we're going to work in groups about the movie and the article, some who did this and some who did that. We're going to work on some reading comprehension, and we're going to come up together with a platform. The idea behind this week was how exercise affects your brain. Okay, no, it's not your glasses, whoever thinks it. We've lost focus. Adele, we lost focus of your camera. Okay?
I can see mine. I don't know.
All right, maybe it's me. It looks all fuzzy to me. Okay, on Wednesday, they need to do a collaborative document, okay, where one student, oh, that's better now, where there's a Google Doc where everyone has to go in and they have to ask a question or they have to answer a question. In the session that I gave on blended learning, we went through every single worksheet of this topic, and we went through every single thing, what it looks like. I'm not going to do it now, but on Thursday in the morning, I have 20 minutes to give them the summative task for the week. And it's an essay that they have to write based on all of the stuff that they learned the entire week and did with their group. Okay, they can work on it all day on Thursday. And I have office hours. What are office hours? Office hours are just what they sound like. All right, there's shihiyah hours where the kids can come into a Zoom. I'm in the Zoom. I'm sitting at home, or I'm sitting in the teacher's room, and they can come in and say, hey, I have a question. Okay, and in the WhatsApp group I've given them, and I'm there, I'm sitting and I'm marking somebody else's compositions. But when they come in, I can pay attention to them and give them one-on-one help. I give them the responsibility to come in and say, I need help, okay? And they have to learn how to do that, okay? On Friday, they have a form. And in the form, they have to link their essay. And they have to tell me every single thing that they did. So were they present for all the synchronous sessions? Did they do all of their asynchronous work? Did they do everything that they were supposed to do? Did they come to office hours? Now, yes, they could lie, but we teach them in advance that the only way to actually help them improve in English is by telling the truth. And that's something that you work on. It's a value that you need to work on with them, okay? It's harder for them to do on exams than it is to do it about what they've done all week, okay? That's 4 or 5 hours of English a week. That's what it should look like, okay? It should be blended. Some of the things they do at home, some of the things they do virtually with you, some of the things they do synchronously face-to-face, and some of the things they do in groups or in pairs, and some of the things they do individually. And there's always some sort of topic or arc for the week or 2 weeks, however your units go, okay? Next slide. Okay, I'd like you to go into this Mentimeter. What you do on your phone is you go into the internet and you write in the Google or whatever browser you have, menti.com, and then you put in this digit code. Adele, I'm going to share, if you don't mind. Can you unshare? Adele? Oh, okay.
Yeah, my wasn't able to the button.
I'm not sure that this is the right one, but I'm gonna, yeah, it is. Okay. Hang on. Okay, this is the code. You go into menti.com. Can you see my screen?
Oh, can you share it in the chat?
I'm sorry, what?
Can you share it in the chat so we can have a direct
Go
link?
on your phone, go into menti.com.
I don't want you to do it on your computer. I want you to do it on your phone.
I don't have my phone at the moment. Okay.
Okay, then I'm sorry. If you go and do it on your computer, then you won't be able to see you won't be able to see the word cloud. So it doesn't work. Okay, so one idea for blended learning, up to 4 words. If you could keep it within 4 words, it could be 1 word, 2 words. Write down what you think is an idea to use blended learning with your students. Keep going, guys. There are like 200 of you. Oh, these are lovely.
Oh man, I thought Choice Boards was gonna take it.
It did, but Choice Board is taking it, not boards.
It's got competition.
Live Worksheets is doing it for now. Oh, there it goes. Group projects, hyperlinking, Google Forms, interactive.
This is amazing.
This is amazing. Quizlet Lives, recorded speaking, personal responsibility, create a trip abroad. For all of those of you who are creating a trip abroad, don't forget to send them into Amazon with $1,000 and fill up a cart in Amazon English about all the things that they need to buy for their trip. That's Jackie taught me to do that. Jackie Mohar.
Judy, can this be saved?
Yes, I will save it for all of you.
No.
Can you say that again about the trip in Amazon?
Can the menti.com be saved, this board?
Yes, yeah, it will be saved.
Oh, okay.
It's saved in my Mentimeter.
You can also screenshot if you really want it.
Yeah, exactly. If we want to go again.
The other
Can you say the thing about the Amazon again?
Sure, you give your kids $1,000 fictitiously in Amazon, and you tell them when they're planning their trip abroad to whatever country you're working on, what would they buy in Amazon? They have to do it in Amazon America so that it's all in English. Okay, excellent.
So only 76 people out of 201 voted.
So where are you all? Come on, that's not fair. Some of you work and some of you don't. This is why you don't use groups bigger than 4. Because some of you are sitting there and going, oh yeah, someone else will do it. I don't have to. Okay.
Judy,
Yes.
am I supposed to sign up also for Mentimeter.com?
No, you just go menti.what?
No, I did
this.
it already. I'm just asking if I want to do it with my students.
Yeah, you have to sign up, but you can sign up through Google. It's free.
Okay, amazing. Thank you. It's also a good idea to give a reflection instead of Google Sheets.
100%. You can actually, I once did one. I'll show it. I'll show you. Hang on a second. Hang on, Adele. I'm going to get out of this for half a second. I'll go back in it in a second, but I will show you. Hang on. This is the one. This is the one that I use for my kids.
Feel with the smileys.
Yeah. How are you feeling? Tired or angry? And then they vote on it. And then I show it to them at the beginning and the end of the lesson. It's a Mentimeter that I do with emojis. Okay. And they get it. I don't know exactly here. I don't know if you could see my screen. It's multiple choice where you add a photo here on the side.
Wow, amazing.
And then there are all different types of questions that you can use. And then what they do is when you present it, they vote. And this particular class, I think I did it with one of the blended learning things, or I can't remember what I did it with, but one person was angry, 48 were tired, and 39 were feeling great. It's a great way to start lessons.
Judie, regarding the Mentimeter, I see you have a long list in your home. If I recall, within each presentation, you're allowed 3. Is that what
Right.
you have there also? Okay.
Yeah, you're allowed 3. And also you have to do it a couple of days in advance, like Naomi said, because the code changes. Adele, can you screen share back to where I was?
You were screen sharing.
No, I know. I want to go back to my presentation.
You don't want to show the Mentimeter?
Oh.
Now?
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I'm not sure I understood about the code in advance.
Yes, there's a code. It says go to menti.com
Right.
and use the code. The code ends.
It expires.
It like expires. And then you have to do it again. So I usually put it in my presentation beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put it in my presentation beforehand. And then like a couple of days before I have to give the lesson or whatever, I go in and I just redo the code.
Okay, great, thanks.
All right, this is lovely. A virtual house tour, a phone conversation, research topics, responsible learners, movies, ESL video. Oh, I love that one. Writing with the Padlet, excellent. Meet my students, face-to-face, trying harder, collaborative slides. These are all fantastic, fantastic, fantastic ideas. Adele, do you want to maybe snip it and we'll stick? So stick it at the end of my presentation so they can see.
Okay.
And now if you could go back in, but I'm sharing. Go back into my presentation because my internet's starting to be flaky in the office.
Okay.
And then I'll end the presentation and we'll be able to ask questions. Blend away, okay? I went into Pinterest and I found a whole bunch of blender recipes. I thought that was really funny. You don't have to think it's funny, and certainly not at 6:30 in the evening. However, one of the things that I do want to talk about is the fact that all of the tools that we give you to use and all of the things that we've been giving you all day today and whatever is to help you try and figure out what to do with your classes when some of you are here and some of you aren't here and some of your kids are at home. You might be at home. You might only see your kids one day a week. And you need to think about how to keep them working and how to keep them alive and kicking, okay, and interested. So all day today, we've really been talking about connecting with your students and how we connect and how we keep the connection and how we keep our students going, okay, and how we keep them learning. And a lot of the things are going to be virtual and a lot of the things are going to be blended in terms of thinking about the way to get them to learn by themselves, to take responsibility to learn by themselves, and then to apply that knowledge when you get into class. And then you're actually helping them create as opposed to just giving them information. The next slide, I think, is the last one. Yeah, good luck.
Okay, so
questions. You should write your questions or open mic. We're 200 people, so maybe not open mic. But if you have questions, then you should write them now so that Adele and I can go through them.
Okay.
And after we finish regular questions about blended learning, I can stay for a little bit longer and answer questions. You have me sitting in my chair. So if there are things in general that you want to know, now is the time.
What is the difference between weekly checklist and I did it?
Adele, do you want to stop recording before questions?
Yes, please.